Hello everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be going through a contents review of the high grade 1 to 144 Strike Freedom Gundam, and this is the Revive Strike Freedom Gundam. And to cap it off, this was the limited Wings of Light Deluxe Edition Strike Freedom Gundam, which was released initially back in 2017. So the original Strike Freedom came out back in 2016, well, this Revive more to the point, and the Wings of Light Edition came out the subsequent year. So the reason why I'm doing it now is because I'm doing a bit of a Gundam Seed Destiny theme build to a degree, and at the point of this video I've been working on the Infinite Justice, so I thought now that I'm doing it I'll actually do a proper video of this, because when I first did my unboxing post on Instagram, this was before YouTube, so it's interesting what has happened in the span of a year. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So a year ago I would have just done a basic contents post on Instagram. Now this time around is a contents review to YouTube, and hopefully this time I'll actually build the darn thing. But anyway, moving along. So the instruction booklet. So given this was the base Strike Freedom Gundam, the instruction booklet is per its initial retail release. So there is the front of the booklet with a nice shot of the Strike Freedom and some details about the unit itself. Looking at the back, or more to the point, the proper back, because I've been playing around with the booklet. So you've got so you have the rear view and some action shots of its weaponry, beam rifle, the rail cannon, beam saber, shield, as well as the multi-phase beam cannon in the chest. So Strike Freedom well and truly earned its nickname of beam spam. And then down here we have a nice little graphic, which I do believe is the actual model kit itself, not an actual, well, it's the model kit but it's been spruced up a bit digitally. Some information over here, and then the color guide at the bottom. We have white, blue, dark blue, red, yellow, grey, light grey, gold and light blue. Wow, quote unquote gold. So that's the outside. So if we look at the inside, so I guess we will, there's also a bit more details about the Strike Freedom there. So once again, just going through some of its armaments. So in this case, it's got inclusion to its Dragoons, the head-mounted CRWS, the beam shield, and its combined beam rifle, and more of the specs in Japanese. And if we go over here, so on the left we have the parts list. Doesn't seem like a lot. 2 A's, 2 B's, a C, 2 D's, 2 E's, beam sabers, polycaps, sticker sheet, as expected. Looking through the manual, so standard torso, head, shoulders. Interestingly enough, this is still a build the right arm, build the left, whereas the Infinite Justice was pretty much build everything times 2 and then we'll do different hands. legs. Legs going into the railgun, and then the dragoons and backpack. Obviously, last up will be the weapons on the color pages. And then lastly, just some steps regarding the dragoon articulation. So that was the original booklet. Now, before I get too carried away, being a P-Bandai special set, and obviously the Wings of Freedom, not the Wings of Freedom, Wings of Light, although technically they are Freedom's wings, the insert for the special effect parts. So what was included, and we'll see this shortly, a base and the effect parts for the dragoons. Now, one thing this does is actually change the original E-runners, which would have been the typical questionable gold color originally, and made them gold plated, which is both almost a good thing and a bad thing. So that replaces the original E's, and the rest are obviously the effect parts. So just the instructions on how to attach the actual Wings of Light to the backpack frame when the dragoons are deployed, and there's some options for those as well. And then alternatively, you can also add beam effects to the ends of each weapon and deploy them further. Now, it will be interesting to see how the weight goes. I feel it will be droopy as, but you never know. I could be amazed. I feel, given that Infinite Justice didn't have polycaps, for the Strike Freedom there could be some sagging in the arms if the weight is too much. So that was it. Additional instructions for the Wings of Light accessories. Okay, so before moving to the runners, we have a sticker sheet. So this would have been regular per its release. So there is, interestingly, 2 sets of what look like eye stickers. You'll have camera lenses between the head and the beam rifles. Half of that blue is probably color correcting for the beam rifles. Bit of red, possibly for the shoulders. I hope not, but we'll see. And some gold, which is probably for the forearms. So that's not too bad. Thankfully, it's not a huge color correcting sticker sheet. As for the runners, so we have 2 A's. I'll do it this way. So we have 2 A runners, both in white. So here's runner 1, or A1. And then we have A2, which is basically a copy of the top of the runner / what is currently on the right, to give you your extra parts to make shoulders, arms, legs, etc. So having a quick look at that, so that's not too bad. So majority, so we've got shoulders, to the forearms and arms, beam sabers, legs. So majority of your white parts indeed. And before we put this aside, so the bottom of A1, torso, a bit more arms, rifles, front to back, waist skirting, so that's pretty cool. Moving on to B. So there are 2 B runners. I dare say in that very dark blue. So here's B1 once again on its side, and B2 is basically a copy of that to give you the multiple sections for the, well, to give you the 2 halves of the backpack, and some of that I'm sure is probably for I'm guessing the top is probably for legs. So put that one aside, have a quick look here. So bottom bit, probably beam rifles, backpack, chest, well, torso is probably more anatomically correct, and then your backpack parts at the bottom and the side. So that's not too bad, it's quite nice. One Sea Runner in multicolor. So this is your multicolor Sea Runner. Light grey, red. The shoulder should be okay. I'm assuming there's parts of the shoulder. The clear light blue, and I believe that's actually, that looks more like gold than yellow, surprisingly enough. But that's obviously the V-fin up, well, over here. So that's not too bad for your multicolor frame. So that was C. As for D, there were 2 Ds, which I will put together like this. So pretty much D1, D2, both in blue. The sides are copies for your individual dragoons. So D1 has some venting and parts of your torso, whilst D2 has soles of the feet, and that's in a nice blue. Now moving into E, so this is once again just where I disclaimer that in the original retail release this would have been in the traditional Bandai weird gold. I'll call it weird gold, but it's still the E1 and E2, E2 being a copy of the top of the runner. So because of the Wings of Light set, this is now in that gold plating. Good in the sense that it does look quite nice now, bad in the sense that there will be nub marks everywhere, and some will be less forgiving than others, so I'll see how that goes. But nonetheless, it will be nice to at least see predominantly that nice gold throughout. So I guess at this point I'm just going through the extra parts that came through for the Wings of Light side. So we have a total of 4 F runners, but there is some difference. So there are 2 F1s, so this is F1 when it's in frame. In fact, I'll get rid of one of these F1s because they're exactly the same. So here, effects for the dragoons, obviously various tips for your beam sabers, dragoons, so all these wonderful beam effects. Which is a shame it's probably not coming up in the video very well because they're also partly translucent, so light is literally going through them. Still, it's a very nice looking set. So that was the F1s, and then we have F2s. Once again, I will get rid of one of them because they're 2 of the same thing. So F2, repeat of the blue, or possibly 2 different shades of blue, I'll have to say. Some more green tips. Doesn't have the yellow, so the yellow was restricted to your F1, so that's most likely for your beam rifles. was going to say beam sabers, but then that was quite weird. So that's F2. And to wrap things, well, getting close to wrapping things up, here is the base plate that's included via the Wings of Light. So it will be nice to actually be able to prop the Strike Freedom up into its iconic beam spam pose. That's in a bit of a smoky grey, translucent black, something of that description. I guess importantly, we'll go through this. Polycap in that off gold, so this would have been probably what the color of the original E1, E2 runners would have been. So unlike the Infinite Justice, the Strike Freedom will still rely on polycaps, so this could be both a good thing and a bad thing. Although I did see a more solid neck piece, so this won't be for everything, but we'll see. And then lastly, as part of the standard retail release, we have Beam Saber effects, and this is the round end and not the flat end. So you've got two of those to use in the Beam Saber. And that brings us to an end of the contents review of what came in the Strike Freedom Gundam Wings of Light set. It has been reprinted a few times since, possibly at least 4 times. I'm sure it'll be reprinted again, no doubt about it. Not that they have to do too much, they basically just have to reprint 4 Fs. Inject weird plastic for the base and weird plastic encoding on the 2 E runners, so it's not a... It's definitely aligned to traditional P-Bandai, where it's a case of 90% of the base kit is from the standard release, and then the extra 10% is making it a little bit extra flash and fun. But surprisingly, this was a whole set, not an actual go get your own Strike Freedom and then here we'll make you spend $30 for a set that includes just the F runners. So it was nice to have it as a consolidated set. But this will definitely be fun. So I'm looking forward to finally putting this together. I'll probably start kicking it off shortly after the Infinite Justice, if I haven't gone back to doing a re-rise build, but we'll see how things go. And there we have it, the Strike Freedom. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to leave a comment down below and a like if you enjoyed this content. Subscribe if you wish to follow my channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with upcoming videos. Extra content can be found on my Instagram account, link in the description down below. Thanks again for your support to help grow this channel. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.